Hey there, YouTube. We're back with another video. Tonight, we're gonna talk about what it costs to go fishing out of a boat. Uh, this is a refilm and re-upload of a previous video. I just wasn't happy with that video, and the phone cut off before I finished the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, now to go fishing out of a boat, it is gonna be fairly expensive by today's standards, and you know everything on this list, some of it you actually need to fish out of a boat. Well, like the boat, and some of it is actually required by law, which we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to it. Okay, I've got pictures of everything we're going to need here. We got boat, anchor lift, boat seats, clamp-on swivel seat mounts, cooler, life jacket, paddles, and throw cushions. Okay, I've got a few pictures here. Unfortunately, I can't really show them that well, but we're going to go through it anyway. Maybe y'all can zoom the screen in or something. And they are actually, I think they're in reverse order, so yeah. There's the boat. That's at Tractor Supply. It's $499.99. That's a 12-foot plastic boat. And the way I understand it, they're pretty good. So, it is what it is. Now, I did try to use online sources to find these prices so that everyone could get this stuff for the same price. But the the Tractor Supply, that's a physical store. So I mean, you're just not gonna get it. You might not get it for that price. Prices vary. At the end of this list, we will figure up the sales tax at 10%. That I don't know if there's any sales tax in America anywhere that goes over 10%, but I'm gonna leave out adding anything to the price for shipping, because most of this stuff you can buy in physical stores, and then you wouldn't have a shipping cost on it. So okay, let's move on to the next thing. We've got here Sea Sense painted 10-pound anchor, $15.99. That's at Academy Sports. Here's your boat paddles, $24.99. You only legally required to have one in the boat, but it really is better to have two. Here's your throw cushion. It's $19.99. I mean, I can't remember exactly, but you may be legally required to have one of these for every person in the boat, or at least that's the way I remember it. And the laws may be different in your state. I'm not familiar with other states' boating laws. I don't think I really need to I don't want to tell you something wrong about that. But yeah, if you go in the water for some reason, which I hope nobody does, these things could be quite helpful in saving your life. Here's your clamp-on swivel seat mount. You don't really need it, and there's no legal requirement for it, but it sure makes it having a seat and swivel seat mount sure makes it a more pleasant experience. This is one type of life jacket. They're legal and they'll get you legal, but the thing about these things are this part back here goes behind your head, and they've actually have caused people to drown because they push on the back of your head, which is pushing your face down in the water. But I mean, the Coast Guard says they're legal, and I've had them before, and yeah, I wore it for about 20 minutes, and then I was like, having my head pushed like that, and always trying to look up and fight that thing in the back of my head. No, but you know, you're required to have a life jacket for every person in the boat. They're $6.97. That's a cheap way to do it. Okay, here's some life jackets. Now, I don't know if this price is actually right or not, if it's going to include shipping, but this is a 2-pack of adult size life jackets, the good kind. The 2-pack is $19.97, and the single is $12.97. I've never gotten life jackets like that for less than 20 bucks a piece. And, you know, obviously new, of course, but it is what it is. You know, again, you're required to have 2 life jackets in the boat you're required to have a life jacket by law in the boat for every person in the boat. If you have a child in the boat, the child is required to have a life jacket on at all times, except when the child is in an enclosed cabin. For adults over 18, here in the state of Georgia, it's only required to wear a life jacket while the boat is in motion. I suggest you just wear it, especially if you think especially if there's a chance that the boat could go over, or you get knocked out of the boat. People don't seem to quite understand that, yeah, swimming in a pond, in a lake, or in a pool, you're not fighting the current. In a river, even just a little 2-mile current, 3-mile current is going to wear you out. Anything over a 3-mile-an-hour current, yeah, your chances of actually not getting swept quite a ways downstream before you get to shore, they start getting pretty slim. Anything much over 4, if you ain't wearing a life jacket, your chances of living ain't that good, you know. So just wear your life jacket, people. They don't look goofy. Actually, they don't look bad at all. But just wear your life jacket and be safe. They call them life jackets because they damn save lives. But anyway, you know, if you're going to fish out of a boat, you're going to need a cooler, and a fairly large one. I'm not sure of the size of this cooler, but it says Igloo Academy Profile 50 cooler. I'm assuming 50 quarts. That's pretty decent size cooler. And, you know, when you're fishing in a boat, the fish tend to get a little bit bigger. And, you know, one of those little cheap, you know, like coolers that holds a 12-pack or whatnot, the fish actually can quite often bigger than those. And then you kind of got a problem, you know. Just, you know, it's $24.99. Just, you know, buy the bigger cooler. And there's these boat seats. this is the cheapest I can find, and that style seat, I remember that style of seat from being a kid in school. I remember my butt sliding around in them. Of course, you know, I'm a small kid, and well, I was a really small kid because you know, well, I'm skinny, but my butt would slide around in them, and them just the way they're shaped. You want to lean forward, but that gets uncomfortable. But when you lean back, that's even worse. I'd suggest going with a better seat than that, but that's the cheapest you're gonna get that I've found. Anyway, you know, it's a boat seat. Okay, now I've got, let's get out of that, out of there, because I'm gonna need the calculator. You know, I'm just no good at math. Did y'all, did any of y'all notice this guy? I'll set it here just for the feel of the video. What this is, back in the 70s, Fisher Price made this toy. It was a little green truck, and then it had a little green plastic truck, and it had a white camper that sat on top of it, and then this sat on top of the camper upside down. Well, you know, my brother played with this when he was a kid, and then I played with it after he outgrew it, and you know, it's just one of the things that from my childhood that I kept. I have a few toys left over from my childhood, and just a few odd and end things that I bought in the last, I don't know, decade or so, just that reminded me of things in my childhood. If y'all would like to see a video on some of my toys, or the toys that I kept over the years or whatnot, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Maybe that'd be of interest of y'all. Maybe it wouldn't be, but yeah. Now I can't not tell y'all that every time I pick this thing up, I kind of get the urge to go put this thing in the sink, in the bathroom sink or in the bathtub, and actually play with the damn thing. I don't know why I don't ever do it, but I don't know why I get that urge to do it. But anyway, let's get back to the video, YouTube. Okay. The boat, $499.99. $499.99 plus anchors. You can get by with one anchor, but you really need two. So 2 anchors, $15.99 plus $15.99 plus. Now, the boat seats you don't need at all, but it's a much better experience if you do have them. So 2 boat seats for a 2-person boat, $19.99 plus $19.99 plus. You know, obviously if you're gonna have the seats, you're gonna need some sort of seat mounts. Clamp-on seat mounts, $32.80. So $32.80 plus $32.80 plus. Let's see, the cooler, $24.99 to $4.99 plus. I'm just gonna put the life jackets down for $20 twice, because I've never gotten them for the prices that Walmart ad had them listed. But let's see, 20.00 plus 20.00. Okay. 2 paddles. You only need one, but 2 paddles. 19.19. Crap. Plus Yeah, I messed that up. Okay, let's see here. Plus 2 paddles at $19.99 a piece. Okay. And then your 2 throw cushions at $20 a piece. I messed that up again, YouTube. Hang on. Okay, plus 2 throw cushions for $19.99 plus $19.99. Okay, there we go. That's the all total for everything on this list. That's $782.41. So let's write that down. Okay, clear that. Duty. Takes a second. Just hit the all clear button. 782.41 plus 10%. Okay, $860.65. Can you see that, YouTube? I hope you can, but if you can, I'm sorry. But yeah. Now, I deliberately left out fishing gear in this video because, well, I mean, if you've got your open face reels, those closed face reels or spinning reels as I call them. You've got your bait casters, casting reel, rod and reels. You've got your fly fishing rod and reels set up. And then, there's also cane poles, which is literally a piece of bamboo. Usually it's colored up somehow and it looks looks nice with just a string and a hook tied to it. I don't know that I actually care to fish with a cane pole anymore. I did some as a kid and I never really had a lot of luck with it because you just can't really get your hook out there in the water. And what I did catch was always just small stuff that really, after you gutted it and took the head off of it and the fins and junk, you didn't have much meat, So I mean, to me, you can do it all you want, but I don't particularly care to. But anyway, because of all the variations and depending on what type of fishing you're doing is going to determine the gear you need. I did not include it in this video, in this list for that. However, tomorrow evening I am going to make a video for just to how much it would cost to get into just normal old bank fishing in the cheapest way possible. I mean, and well, as far as that goes, you can buy fishing gear on Amazon and probably eBay too. I don't think I've ever looked for it on eBay, but the thing about the stuff coming out of Amazon, that stuff is junk, people. Absolute junk. If you're gonna buy fishing rods and reels, you really do need to buy the better brands. Yeah, you're gonna spend more money, but the thing about it is, it's going to last you a long time. I know these YouTube fishermen are always pushing this crap out of China, but then, you know, if you pay attention, they only use it in the video where they're promoting it. Then they're back to using their $200 and $300 reels, you know. So I mean, there's that. I personally just wouldn't buy that stuff. Buy that stuff off Amazon. Lures, you know, the cheap China lures from Amazon, they may be okay. And you know, I've had some cheap crap Chinese crap lures from not Amazon, but the Walmart, and I've caught decent bass on them down there in Michelle's pond. So you know, I mean, they will catch fish. Another thing too about the fishing string, well, fishing line. Yeah, you can buy a big roll, 700-yard roll of fishing line for $2 or $3, or at least that's what I remember it being. But the thing about it is, that stuff, it will work, and it's good for holding the weight. But I probably bought 10 rolls of that crap over the years, and the thing that I've noticed about it, it always comes off the spool, no matter how you try to secure it and whatnot. And then I always threw it out and replaced the whole roll before I ever used all of it. So I stopped buying that, and I actually, hold on. I started throwing away that. I stopped using that old cheap crap fishing line. I actually started buying these smaller rolls of string for about the same cost. I mean, it's just a better quality line, and that right there, I like. Made in USA. I hope they mean the actual fishing line and not the damn box. But anyway, it's just a better quality line. There's less of it, for sure, certainly less of it. But, you know, it's just better, and I've actually used all of this stuff, you know, on, you know, the whole reel of it before. So, you know, better line for about the same, better quality line. You get less of it, but you're spending about the same money as you was with the cheap stuff. And you know, you'll actually use all of this and not have to be throwing away 400 yards of fishing string because it might be UV rotted or something. And by the way, I did buy like 5 rolls of this stuff, and to keep it from, you know, decaying, I actually do keep it in my freezer, in the deep freezer. But anyway, put this away, and then we'll do the outro. Okay, YouTube, I thank y'all for watching, and I would appreciate it if y'all would take the time to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Okay, I think I'm gonna go get in the bathtub and play with this thing in the bathtub while I good night, YouTube. I'm going to go get in the bath and play with this. The temptation's just too strong. Thank y'all for watching.